You think you're free, but most of your decisions were programmed long before you made them. The way you speak, the way you react, the way you avoid conflict, none of it is accidental. Society rewards obedience and punishes strategic thinking. Most people never notice the rules quietly draining their power. Machiavelli observed this centuries ago. He watched people follow moral scripts that made them predictable and controllable. If you want influence, control, and independence, they're all rules society teaches that must be broken. Not recklessly, strategically. Obedient people follow rules. Strategic people examine them. Rule number 1 society teaches you: always be nice. It sounds moral. It sounds civilized. But it creates a weakness many people fail to recognize. Imagine a workplace situation. Someone interrupts you in meetings, dismisses your input, and gradually takes credit for your ideas. You stay polite, you remain agreeable, you believe patience will earn respect. But something else happens beneath the surface. People begin interpreting your behavior not as kindness, but as permission. The psychological mechanism behind this is approval conditioning. Humans evolved to avoid social rejection because belonging once meant survival. The brain learns to prioritize acceptance over authority. Manipulative personalities read that signal immediately. When someone never pushes back or sets limits, they are categorized as safe to exploit. Over time, boundaries disappear and respect erodes. Strategic thinkers approach kindness differently. Kindness is deliberate, not automatic. It is paired with boundaries. It is offered where it is respected and withdrawn where it is abused. Reaction becomes a leash when kindness has no limits. Rule number 2: avoid conflict. Society often frames confrontation as aggression. Schools discourage it. Work environments reward quiet compliance. Many people learn to keep peace at any cost. Imagine a situation where a colleague repeatedly crosses professional boundaries or shifts responsibilities onto you. Instead of addressing it directly, you ignore the behavior to maintain harmony. The mechanism behind this pattern is conflict avoidance conditioning. People learn early that disagreement creates discomfort. The brain chooses silence to avoid tension. The problem is that silence communicates acceptance. Once a boundary is ignored, it disappears. Over time, the pattern reinforces itself. Others adapt to the absence of limits. Strategic individuals treat conflict differently. They see it as a method of clarifying expectations. Calm confrontation resets boundaries and reveals intentions. Power grows from controlled responses, not from avoiding tension. Comment: I question the rules. Rule number 3: work hard and you will be rewarded. The belief appears logical. Effort should produce results. But in many real systems, effort alone does not determine outcomes. Consider the individual who consistently performs the most work, solves complex problems, and stays late to complete tasks. Promotions and recognition still move toward someone else. The mechanism behind this pattern is the meritocracy illusion. People are conditioned to believe effort automatically produces reward. In reality, perception and positioning influence outcomes more than effort alone. Machiavelli observed this in political courts. Individuals who advanced were not always the most capable. They understood how visibility and influence shaped decisions. When effort happens quietly, it becomes invisible. Invisible contributions rarely receive recognition. Strategic operators combine effort with positioning. Work remains essential, but how work is perceived determines its impact. Effort without strategy often remains unnoticed. Rule number 4: share your plans. Openness is often praised. Many people believe announcing goals creates accountability and support. However, something unusual happens when plans are shared too early. A person describes a business idea or career goal to others before taking action. They receive praise and encouragement, yet progress slows or stops completely. The mechanism behind this is premature validation. When people talk about goals, the brain releases reward chemicals similar to those produced when the goal is achieved. The brain experiences satisfaction before the work is done. That reward reduces urgency and discipline. Strategic individuals limit early disclosure. Silence protects momentum. Silence reduces outside interference and distraction. Plans gain strength when they develop privately. Builders reveal outcomes after progress exists. Rule number 5: seek everyone's approval. Many people adjust their behavior to maintain agreement in social or professional environments. Opinions are softened to avoid disagreement. Decisions are delayed until consensus appears. The mechanism behind this pattern is social belonging bias. Human psychology treats rejection as a threat signal. To prevent exclusion, individuals adjust their opinions and behavior. Over time, this erodes authenticity and authority. Strategic thinkers prioritize respect over approval. Approval fluctuates depending on circumstances and preferences. Respect develops from clarity and consistency. Individuals who communicate decisions without constant adjustment create stable expectations around them. If you're building a disciplined mind that sees through manipulation, subscribe to ILU Codex. Rule number 6. Always explain yourself. Many people believe authority requires detailed justification for every decision. They add explanations, clarifications, and defensive statements to ensure their reasoning is understood. The mechanism behind this behavior is the validation reflex. When individuals doubt how their decisions will be received, they instinctively provide additional explanation to gain acceptance. However, excessive explanation signals uncertainty. Decisions appear negotiable rather than final. Strategic communicators deliver decisions clearly and briefly. Statements remain direct. Explanations are used only when necessary, not as automatic defense. Controlled communication reinforces authority. Comment: control is power. Rule number 7. Trust everyone close to you. Familiarity often creates the assumption of loyalty. People believe individuals within their personal or professional circle naturally act in their interest. However, proximity does not guarantee alignment of incentives. Consider a situation where private information spreads beyond its intended audience. The mechanism behind this pattern is trust bias. The brain associates familiarity with safety, yet people respond to incentives, opportunities, and pressure. Strategic individuals observe behavior patterns before extending full trust. They evaluate consistency across time and situations. Trust develops gradually and is supported by evidence rather than assumption. Rule number 8. React when provoked. A comment online or a criticism during a meeting often produces an immediate response. Many people feel compelled to defend themselves instantly. The mechanism behind this reaction is emotional hijacking. When the brain detects a perceived threat, the amygdala initiates a rapid response before rational evaluation occurs. Manipulative individuals use provocation deliberately to trigger these reactions. Once a reaction occurs, attention and control shift to the person who initiated the provocation. Strategic operators create space before responding. Observation replaces impulsive reaction. Silence or delayed response often shifts pressure back to the initiator. Reaction reveals leverage points. Controlled responses remove them. Rule number 9. Be completely transparent. Modern culture frequently promotes full openness in communication and relationships. People share personal struggles, weaknesses, and plans under the assumption that transparency strengthens trust. The mechanism behind this belief is trust signaling. Individuals reveal personal information to demonstrate honesty and vulnerability. However, information also functions as leverage. Strategic individuals practice selective transparency. They communicate clearly while protecting details that could weaken positioning. Controlled disclosure preserves influence and stability. The final rule society promotes is play fair. The concept suggests everyone follows the same standards and procedures. Many individuals rely on systems operating exactly as described. In competitive environments, however, people often combine skill with strategy and positioning. The mechanism behind this rule is moral signaling. Individuals assume fairness will guide behavior across a system. In reality, incentives, competition, and perception influence outcomes. Machiavelli observed that people judge situations based on appearances more than internal realities. Strategy means understanding these dynamics before acting. Followers rely entirely on the rules presented to them. Strategic individuals analyze the system behind the rules. At the beginning, you believe these rules were designed to guide behavior toward fairness and stability. After examining them closely, a different pattern appears. Systems reward predictability because predictable behavior is easier to manage. Once individuals begin questioning these patterns, their behavior changes. Automatic reactions decrease. Observation increases. The obedient identity fades and strategic awareness replaces it. The rules themselves do not disappear, but understanding their mechanisms changes how they influence decisions. If you're building a mind that sees through manipulation, subscribe to Ilgu Codex. Comment, I think for myself.